What's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addictionmedia. Finally, it's album reviews. You can find our band interviews and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I will be posting the live set from the Tillian tour. I only got Royal Coda's and Andreas's set. I had some other stuff that I was doing while I was at the venue, but I hope to see them again in the foreseeable future. I also posted an awesome interview with Mock Love. They are an alternative rock post-hardcore band from Missouri, which you should definitely go check out. I'll also be posting an interview with Suntitled on Wednesday. They are an alternative rock band from New Jersey. And then to round out the week, I will be posting an interview with Fair. He's from New York City, and he kind of does a solo band, but he also has people who do live stuff with him, and it was a really cool story to hear about his background, and that one's going out on Friday, and a ton of other stuff in the works that you should definitely keep your eyes peeled for. But tonight we're going to be talking about the Story So Far's newest record, Proper Dose. Oh, I've been a pretty big fan of this band. I wouldn't say that I'm a die-hard fan, but I do really enjoy their music, and whenever some of my friends put it on, or if I put it on, I really have enjoyed what they've done. Everything from their 2011 effort, Under Soil and Dirt, I thought that was phenomenal. What You Don't See, which was released in 2013, and then probably their most recent work that some of you, if you joined recently, would be their self-titled record, and they've put out a few EPs as well. Notably, Clairvoyant is one of their best songs, at least in my opinion, and they've just put out really awesome music so far. They kind of took a break a little bit, and then they released this newest record that will be coming out this Friday, and I was excited to check this one out. I definitely checked out the singles, and I was interested and kind of keen to be surprised about how this record is going to sound, because I know a lot of people weren't expecting this sort of sonic change of those songs, but overall I think it's really something that I've come to enjoy. So I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it, go through some pros and cons in the record, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track off the record is the title track, Proper Dose. Really digging the instrumentals of this track. I feel like as the times go on and the more times that I listen to it, I've really kind of grown to love this track. The guitar work has this cool way it's written. I like that it kind of has, you know, some little bit of a punch to it in the verses, but also kind of has those soft moments as well. It's kind of really this weird juxtaposition in this song. I think the chorus definitely brings the song together. It really makes the song cohesive, and I've always loved Parker singing. I think it's on point as per usual. It just really has this fine line of melodicness, but also just a great level of punchiness as well. But I like that he definitely is more softer in the verses and just a little bit more aggressive in the choruses. I think that that's a nice counterpoint to the song, and it's just a straight to the point sort of song as well. It's just one of those tracks that I feel like you get in and you get out, and there's, I mean, the track's like I think a little over 2.5 minutes, so it's just one of those ones that is quick, fun, you know, typical Story So Far fashion, and I definitely like this song a lot. But we're gonna move into track number 2, which is Keep This Up. This one is one of my favorites. I'm loving just the great energy and the groove of this track. It was one of the tracks that upon first listen just sold me on this record. It really has that classic sort of Story So Far vibe and sound to it, which I've always appreciated. It has this nice balance of both aggressive and gritty vocals from Parker as per usual, and there's just where it has this heaviness but also just blends melodically super well too. I just love when he kind of goes in and has those like really aggressive moments, and I think that I can always kind of assimilate with how he feels in certain songs, in just the way that he kind of, you know, has his cadence in his voice. It's just a little bit frustrated, and certain songs you can definitely hear it more than others, but this one you could feel that sort of like pull and tug, which I really appreciate. Another really well put together song, again another fast one. I think it's a little over 2.5 minutes as well, and it's just a straight to the point track that I feel like a lot of you will love. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Out of It. This was one of the first singles that they released, and this was even prior to them even announcing a record. Everybody thought it was just kind of a single that wasn't going to be maybe posted on the record, but this one made it onto it. And I will say that at first I wasn't really sold on this song initially. I think it kind of given a little bit of time, and obviously the amount of times that I've put into this record already, I've really grown to love this, and I think that it fits much better in the sort of space of the album as opposed to just the song by itself. I felt like the song by itself, it didn't really have that much weight to it, but just with kind of the first 2 tracks so far on this record being more aggressive, a little bit more, you know, pop punky, I think that this one fits right in, and it's found a nice home in the track. I think this really is the peak of the story so far. I think that this is some of their best work, I would say, without a doubt. The vocals from Parker is really awesome. They sound super melodic in this track, and I just like the layered harmonies throughout the song. I feel like it's not just too much, but also it's really kind of fits in those spots where it's needed. I think one of the most important parts in this track, I think the pre-chorus has some really great melodic harmonies in this part, and I really feel like it really gets those you know, those like little earworms that I've grown to love in these songs. It just really kind of brings that out. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Take Me As You Please. This is another single that was released, I don't know how recently. I would assume it's probably within the past couple weeks, but this one is another favorite of mine. I've always loved their softer sort of acoustic vibes to the way that they've written tracks. Clairvoyant is one of my favorite, you know, That's the Story So Far's tracks, and I think that this one is probably in terms of most memorable. This one is one of those tracks off this record that each time I come back to it, I feel like this one, it just stops me, and I love it. Really liking the sort of overall electronic overlays in the song. It's really not like EDM sort of stuff, but it really has this nice space and depth to the track, and it really adds, it really counterplays very nicely with the sort of natural acoustic guitars and just kind of those softer drumming patterns going on in this song. It's a nice change of pace in consideration with the tracks that preceded it. It really brings the songs together, and I also feel like if there was another kind of more pop punky, more aggressive track, I felt like it would have been over the top, and I just like the placement of this song. So we're gonna move into track number 5, which is Let It Go. This is another single that had been released, and much like Out of It, I feel like this one was also a grower for me as well. I didn't love it at first, but as I've gotten more time to listen to it and also hear it in the overall feelings and vibes of the record, this one fits super well. I would say even more so than Out of It. It just really kind of blends the sort of last track, Take Me As You Please, the more melodic overtones and in the song, and they really kind of took it and made it into really an awesome pop punk track that I think is super memorable off this record as well. Digging this sort of melodic nature of the song, as I mentioned previously, and I think it infuses a lot of this sort of classic The Story So Far vibe into this song. The drumming is really actually super awesome in this track as well. It's interesting. I love the fills and just kind of the rhythmic lines going throughout this track. It was one of those things that I kind of picked off immediately, but as I've gotten to delve into the tracks more, it was one of those things that I felt like stood out the more times that I listened to it. So we're gonna move into track number 6, which is Upside Down. This one's probably my least favorite of the singles. I don't think it's a bad track, I just feel like it's one that just didn't grab me. Maybe it's just a grower and I have to listen to it a little bit more, but I like that they're switching it up. I think that the songs that they have played out so far, especially in terms of the singles, have been a little bit more aggressive, excluding Take Me As You Please. This one kind of is in that same sort of vein. It's a little bit softer, but I think it has some really great qualities to it as well. The vocal layering is really sick in this track. I think it's well needed, and it really works well with what Parker's going for in this track, that just kind of overall melodic overtone. It really adds a lot of depth to his vocals as well. And I like that they really tried to do something different, where each song didn't really sound different from the did sound different from the others, but This one I feel is by far the most expansive track that they've written off the record, which is really cool. I like that they took chances and took some risks, because I feel like this one a lot of people love. It's just maybe one that I have to kind of listen to a little bit more. So we're going to move into track number 7, which is If I Fall. This one is one of my favorites, and man, I love the groove of this track. It's just one of those things that as soon as I get into this track, I just feel it. I'm vibing. Easily one of the best tracks that they've written personally. I love the chorus in this track. It is awesome. It's by far one of my favorite choruses. And the instrumentals are super sick in this track as well. Just paired with the great vocals and just the amount of catchiness in this track really makes this song stand out throughout the kind of mix of the 11 tracks off this record. I like that they vocals and kind of the instrumentation are in equal weight. It's not, I don't pick out one more than the other, and I think that just goes with how well the song is arranged and just how it's structured out. I think that they both bring a lot of good things to the table, and they really kind of work in harmony as well. I also love the bridge / ending of this track. It really has this super ethereal feeling to it, and it brings out a lot of the more melodic elements that weren't really in most of the track, but I felt like it really fit the way that this song ended. So we're gonna move into track number 8, which is Need to Know. This is another favorite of mine as well, and if you've been a classic The Story So Far fan, I feel like this is another one you can vibe with. I also love the chorus. I like that they changed it up. It has that sort of newer sound to it, and I love it. I think the chord structure in this track is one of my favorites, and it has that kind of cool, like, chameleon sort of effect in the way that the verses have that sort of aggressive, little bit more of a punch to it, and the choruses have more of a melodic, kind of like newer sound, like probably more like on the lines of the self-titled record, which is definitely cool, and it's one of the cool choruses on the record, and I absolutely love the ending of this track as well. Another sweet ending to a sweet track. So we're gonna move into track number 9, which is Line. I would consider this track to be kind of an interlude. There isn't really much going on. It's a very chill track. It's one of my favorites. I just love it. I like that they really kind of puts you in a mental state where you're like driving down, you know, the coast of California. The windows are down. You got the convertible, you got the convertible down as well, and you're just enjoying a nice sunny day in California, which is really cool. I think that that's something that I could have vibed with absolutely, and most people, if you don't live in California, you could vibe with. But this one has the grooves. I love it. It's one of those tracks that really took me by surprise too, because it's something that they've really kind of never done on previous records. So I like the change. I like the direction that they're going in. I think it's really awesome. So we're gonna move into track number 10, which is Growing on You. This one is by far the most interesting off the record. I think that a lot of people are going to be surprised about this one too. Vocally, it shows off the most growth from Parker than any of the previous tracks, and the last track off the record for sure. He does some really awesome falsettos that you really, I would say, don't really hear in any of the other Story So Far tracks, and it really has these awesome melodic lines that Parker has able to come up with, and just kind of paired with the acoustic jams that I'm used to and known to love about this band. I think it works really well. I think it's composed extremely well too, and just the inclusion of piano and those sort of softer drum vibes were a nice addition to an overall track that I was not expecting. I think that really Parker sticks out and shines in this track primarily. It just is one of those tracks that I was genuinely surprised about, and I think it worked very well, and I like that they took a ton of risk on this one as well. So we're gonna move into the last track number 11, which is Light Year. This one is one of my favorites. Digging the sort of more indie alt vibes of the beginning half of this track and in the first verses of the track. I think it's really unique, and I think it's again another really well constructed track. If I had to say anything about this record so far, just kind of rounding it out now, I would say that they really took the time to really consider, really think about how the songs have been arranged and how everything kind of fits in the molds of these songs. So definitely been digging that. I also love just the overall melodic elements thrown throughout this track. I think that is apparently abundant that they are going in a new sound direction, but I like that they still kind of have that, you know, hey, we're not going to kind of throw away that classic Stories So Far vibe, but we also want to try stuff that's new. So I like that about just the vibes of these tracks. I think it blends a good mix of old and new, and the bridge is just exquisite. I think it's my favorite bridge off the entire record, without a doubt. And I think that this is one of the best tracks off the record. I think that it really combines a lot of the best elements of old Stories So Far and new Stories So Far, but also just making a really fire track. And I genuinely mean that. I think that this one is one of the best off the record, and I just like that they tried a lot of different things on this record. So some pros and cons. If you are looking for the Stories So Far, like classic stuff, there are some stuff for that. If you like the self-titled and you like kind of the more melodic direction that they're going in, they got stuff for you. And then if you're a fan of both, then you pretty much won this. And I definitely like that they took a lot of risk on this record with tracks like Growing on You. I think Take Me As You Please is another good one. Upside Down, Light Year. I feel like those tracks really kind of stuck out to me as somebody who goes through a lot of albums and just listening to it a ton of times. I felt like this one really was expansive, and I like that they did that. I also like, again, that they kind of brought some old elements with tracks like Keep This Up, Out of It, I would say even a little bit of Let Go, and I'd also say like If I Fall and Need to Know. I would say those ones have that classic Stories So Far vibe, but newer tracks like Let It Go, Proper Dose, Light Year, those really kind of changed the game for them, and I appreciate that. Another really catchy record from them, and I think Parker really did a phenomenal job, more specifically in track number 10, Growing on You. I think that he really kind of took a lot of risk on that track, and for me personally, I think it paid off. I like the vibes that he was going with in this track, and I think it worked to their benefit. So some cons that I have, I really don't have any. I think this is probably one of their best works to date. It really has some older elements, but it also has some newer elements, and I think that if you can kind of really open your mind and expand it, I think that you really will come to love this record a lot. So my overall rating for this Story so far is Proper Dose. I'm going to be giving it a 9.7 out of 10. I definitely feel like it's one you should check out if you are a fan of them in any capacity. Please go give it a listen, because I think it is really some phenomenal work that they've been able to put together on this one. But let me know in the comments what you think about this album so far, or the singles. The album comes out on Friday, so definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm super excited for you guys to see it, and let me know what your favorite tracks are in the comments below as well. And if you enjoyed this album review, I don't know why I was going to say interview, because it's not an interview, but if you enjoyed this album review, make sure to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and share it. It really goes a long way. Shout outs to Pure Noise. Again, they always hook me up with the new stuff, so I love them to death. I love their band, so it's super stoked to get it early, just, you know, even if it's a little bit. So thank you guys for watching this video. Like I said, my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.